following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
It's always quiet. I get up in the morning, I run, I don't even have no music on because it's so quiet. I love it.
The reigning middleweight champion craves the solitude, needs the clean, crisp air of the Pocono Mountains, because deep down, Jermain Taylor is still searching for that defining victory, a domination so complete, it silences his critics.
I'm middleweight champion of the world, and I'm feeling like I still got something to prove.
You got 3 minutes, man. You got to fight.
When the official decision is announced in favor of Taylor, a lot of the crowd is going to boo.
Undefeated almost certainly ends for one of these two fighters tonight. Kelly Pavlik is the division's rising star, knockout specialist with a singular focus, take what Taylor has.
Anytime I fight, I come to fight. There's no dancing around.
Pavlik is showing no fear whatsoever. Big right hand.
Oh, that hurt him. He's out.
For the first time, Jermain Taylor finds himself against a longer, stronger opponent. The hunter has become the hunted.
I have the heart of a lion, and I've been in there with the best. So I know what they expect. What can you do?
That's the question. What can you do? Jermain Taylor, can you solidify your place among the greats? Kelly Pavlik, will it be your breakthrough night? It's Jermain Taylor versus Kelly Pavlik on World Championship Boxing next.
World Championship Boxing is back, coming to you live once again from Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey. First up, young welterweight Andre Berto takes a step up in class, beating battle-tested David Estrada. Then in our main event, middleweight champion Jermain Taylor takes on what is perceived to be yet another supremely difficult assignment in a list of them for Taylor, Youngstown, Ohio's Kelly Pavlik. A gorgeous day on the boardwalk in Atlantic City, a beautiful scene inside Boardwalk Hall. Almost all of the seats will be filled for this battle between two unbeaten American fighters for the legitimate middleweight championship of the world. Hello again, I'm Jim Lampley. When Jermain Taylor snapped Bernard Hopkins' record 20 title defense streak in the middleweight division and took Hopkins' middleweight championship a couple of years ago, the stage seemed to be set for the continuing development of a great American boxing career. Now, 2 years later, the world continues to wait for Taylor to be great, and he has become the centerpiece of a storm of criticism in the sport, from those who think that he has fallen well short of his vast potential, most particularly in his two most recent victories against much smaller southpaw fighters, Kasim Uma and Corey Spinks. Tonight, he has a tremendous chance to silence the critics, taking on a hard-punching, unbeaten, thoroughly qualified challenger in Kelly Pavlik. For more on the subject, let's turn to the former unbeaten, or I should say the former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis. I'd like to make you unbeaten, Lennox. It'd be fun for the record. And talk about all that storm of criticism which has surrounded Jermain Taylor. Lennox, he's still an unbeaten fighter, so is the criticism justified?
Well, if it's justified or not, he's took it to heart. Him and Emmanuel has gone up to training camp so they can spend a lot of time together, so they can work on the fundamentals. This is what he needs, and only good can come from that.
An attempted rebirth for Taylor in the hands of his legendary trainer, Emmanuel Stewart. That would seem, as Lennox says, to be the positive outgrowth from all the criticism he's faced. Larry Merchant, we all know about how much abuse has been heaped on Taylor, and Pavlik has become totally celebrated as the result of his stunning 7th-round knockout victory over Edison Miranda to set up this fight. So how will all of the negativity that surrounds Taylor possibly rub off on Pavlik?
It should remind him, Jim, that the champion is unbeaten, but not unbeatable. And that is the main issue, and that is recognized by Emmanuel Stewart, who in a transparent attempt to pump up Taylor has been blowing more smoke going into this fight than all the old steel mills in Youngstown, saying, for example, that that sensational victory over a very tough, hard-punching Miranda was an illusion for Pavlik. Smoke. The salient question, Jim, is who smokes whom in the fight?
In what could be a smoking fight, because both are regarded as mostly offensive, relatively high-contact fighters. That'll be the main event. First, we're going to get a chance to look at a glittering young welterweight prospect, Andre Berto, as he takes on by far his best and most qualified opponent to date, David Estrada. A tale of the tape now for the fight between Berto and Estrada. Andre Berto is of Haitian lineage, born in Miami, grew up in Winter Haven, Florida. At age 24, he now fights the 28-year-old Estrada. Both of them trained in the same gym, Phantom Gym in Miami, for this fight. Berto training in the morning and then leaving in time for Estrada to come in without crossing paths in the afternoon. Estrada is a half-inch taller at 5'9", has a 1-inch longer arm length measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. They weighed in within a pound of the 147-pound welterweight limit, and tonight unofficially, Berto's up to 154 and Estrada to 155. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Andre Berto David Estrada fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules that you see on your screen. Jim, real quick, the 4 criteria that the judges will use to score each individual round: clean punching, effective aggressiveness, ring generalship, and defense, with a strong emphasis on clean, effective punching. Jim.
David Estrada, the son of a Guatemalan mother and a Mexican father, was born in Chicago and lived early life there, then moved to Miami, where he has lived ever since. He's got 21 wins, but Larry Merchant, his 3 losses were to Ishai Smith, Shane Mosley, and Kermit Cintron. And that's what's significant about this fight, because Andre Berto arguably hasn't fought anybody yet who's in the same league with the 3 guys who beat Estrada.
Well, that may be impressive to some people. It would be a little bit more impressive if he had beaten one of those fighters.
Estrada is a tough, come-forward journeyman fighter who claims that he is going to take Berto to school with pressure. Going forward against the young fighter, it is entirely difficult and customary for a guy in Estrada's position to say of a fighter like Berto, he hasn't seen anything. He certainly hasn't seen anybody like me. A look there at the results that Estrada wound up with in his losses to Cintron, Mosley, and Smith. And as Andre Berto enters the ring, Lennox, we asked Andre yesterday, is it fair for us to compare the results that you achieve against Estrada with the things that happened to him against Smith, Mosley, and Cintron? And Andre smiled and said, well, of course, you're going to do that anyway. Such is the plight of all young prospects.
Berto may be one of the only or very few fighters I've ever heard speak of himself with a kind of sense of irony. He calls himself, I'm a work in progress. and he says, I'm Andre Berto, boxing phenom.
And that's great to think that way about yourself. He looks in great shape. He said he's in great shape. He looks thin to me. I thought it was a weight. He's losing a lot of weight, but he's in great shape. He said he's been working hard. He's looking forward to this fight. This is like a next step up for him to prove himself. And I felt he needed a step up, and I think this is a good step up for him.
Berto's Haitian-born father was a martial arts expert who spurred his son into combat sports. He drove him pretty hard. Even though Berto played other sports in high school, he would run to and from school to do road work. He was called Forrest Gump by his neighbors because they seemed to constantly see him in motion. Sometimes when he was running to school, his father would drive a car behind him, bumping him on the back of the legs with the bumper if he didn't feel he was moving fast enough. Let's go to Michael Buffer now in the ring for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Atlantic City's Convention Hall, where tonight DeBella Entertainment, in association with Dash DeBella, Caesars Atlantic City and Sino Promotions, proudly present HBO World Championship Boxing, sponsored by FreeTheFan.com, the best place to talk about sports. All bouts sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this first bout: John Potteray, Luis Rivera, and Gene Williams. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action, David Fields. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on the line, the NABF champ and the IBWBC #1 rank in the world, 12 rounds of boxing in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with white, official weight 146 1/2 pounds. His professional record, an excellent one. 21 victories, including 12 knockouts, only 3 defeats. From the windy city of Chicago, Illinois, David Estrada. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue with white, official weight 146 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 19 bouts, 19 victories, including 16 knockouts. Fighting out of Winter Haven, Florida, the undefeated welterweight, Andre Berto.
Seconds out, fellas. Let's go. Come on, Rick. Seconds out. Let's go.
Okay, Berto, David. We're scheduled to box 12 rounds for the NABF Welterweight Championship. I've gone over the rules in the dressing room. I expect you to obey my commands at all times. Most of all, protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck.
Estrada's trainer says his problem is he has too much of a fighter's instinct. He can't control himself at times. While Berto's trainer says his worst problem is his power, because he tries to use it too much. Sounds like a collision to me.
Well, on at least one of the 2 fighters, Estrada was saying that he wants it to be a collision. He's been bothered in the past by slicker boxers, Ishe Smith in a 10-round decision. Shane Mosley, who he said bothered him with his footwork, simply moved too well.
Berto's starting out real good with his jab. He wants to make that notice straight away.
Berto in his last fight was knocked down by Cosme Rivera in the 8th round, tasting a perfect uppercut flush on the chin. It's a rite of passage for young SARS on the way up to go to the canvas for the first time. Oscar De La Hoya can tell you about it 2 or 3 times early in his career. Felix Trinidad was knocked down 6 times in early rounds by guys whom he eventually would get up to knock out. It's a piece of experience about which Berto smiled and said, okay, now I know what that's like. We'll see what happens next. Good little left hook inside by Estrada. He tries to follow it up. Berto
that's
has
to shake him, shake Berto, Jim.
Berto has good hand speed and patience, I think, Lennox. In the fights I've seen, he doesn't rush himself. Seems to be pretty good at waiting for his moments.
And that's important. To show good poise and patience is important. Figuring your guy out, starting off with the jab like he's doing, you know, that's only good for him.
Let him go, Berto.
Recognizing that Estrada is solid and strong, Berto sparred with some middleweights. And there's another good left hook inside by David Estrada. Berto sparred with middleweights and said, I think they were harder punchers than Estrada. So far, he's handled both of Estrada's 2 pretty good flush left hooks. Berto landed an uppercut in that last exchange.
And if you look at Estrada, he's trying to put Berto back on the rope, trying to force him back and impose his will on him. But Berto's not standing for that. He's answering with his punches.
It's at least as much a fight as a boxing match so far. Now Berto begins to work behind the jab, which is what he said he would want to do. That he wanted to use his jab more, show more poise, try to make it easier for himself in there, than has been the case sometimes.
And you know, this is an improvement on his jab that I've seen in this fight than in past fights.
Estrada's made his point to a certain degree as Berto backs up into the ropes. Now Berto motions him in as if to say, come on, give me a chance to counter you. Good uppercut. Momentarily centers the action back in Berto's favor, and he grins as he goes to his corner.
Relax. Listen to me. Yeah, get down. Yeah, you're good. Listen to me. Yeah. One thing I need for you. You have to make sure that when you're in the clinch, your hands are tight, all right? Because he's trying to punch inside the mix, okay?
Keep your fucking hands up after you punch, baby. Come on.
Feet. Make sure you keep your position too. Touch this guy and move him a little bit. Touch him and move him a little bit more. Let's get a little more work in there, all right? Touch him and move.
Look beautiful, David. That was a good run, baby. All right. As soon as he touches you, I answer him back. All right. Fast speed. Don't have to put that much pressure on that jab. Let's just work with speed. Good job, man. Let's go.
CompuBox numbers in round one. Berto 14 out of 46. Estrada 17 out of 59. Harold Letterman gave the first round to Estrada rather than to Berto. Andre threw 35 jabs, at least making good on his promise. He tried to work more behind the jab. He only landed 7 of them. Now Berto comes out with a flurry to begin the second round. You heard the man in his corner saying, keep your hands together when he's inside. Berto working with serious purpose to try to shift the momentum a little bit here in the first minute of round 2. Estrada backed up there for the first time in the fight. Now comes forward again and lashes Berto with a body shot. And surely it's clear to Berto now, if not before coming into the ring, that he's working against a higher level of professionalism than he's seen in his previous fights.
And that he has been inspired by that to use his jab more. He knows he can't just win by winging punches and brawling.
Good left hook off the jab there by Andre Berto.
And as you can see, Berto is very effective with the jab right now. And Estrada doesn't know what to do. What Estrada's trying to do, he's trying to get him in, trying to put Berto against the ropes, but Berto's got some good foot movement right now. And he's staying away from him. So this is a position where he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be against the ropes because that's where Estrada wants him. He wants him against the ropes so he can throw his combinations where he feels comfortable.
Berto more effective momentarily here in the center of the ring. Estrada bodies him off and manages to push him into the ropes one more time. Berto with a little smile on his face as if to say, hey, this is good work. This is pushing me to the limit a little bit. Hard right hand upstairs by David Estrada. Tries to follow it up. Berto ducks the second right hand. Just missed with an uppercut that was designed to throw Estrada into the lights. Good left hook to the body by David Estrada, who's giving as good as he gets again midway through round 2.
Yeah.
Good left hook to the body there by Berto, but Andre's a little flat-footed and has dropped his hands now, giving Estrada some chances upstairs.
In the fights that Berto has been given to develop him, he's never been confronted with someone who appears to be as strong as he is.
November 18 kicks off the 4-week series Mayweather Hatton 24/7. It's our total access reality series following both fighters closely
as they prepare for their December showdown. And Saturday, December 8th, HBO pay-per-view. The live fight, Floyd Mayweather, unbeaten, against Ricky Hatton, unbeaten, for Floyd's welterweight title.
You should be able to move this guy all night long, okay? This guy's touching you when you're standing still, okay? Don't stand still. All right? Touch him in little movements. Circle this guy, little angles. This guy, you're way too fast for this guy. Only time he gets you...
You understand me? All right. That was his round, baby. Can't let this happen too often.
Get out.
All right, baby, let's go.
Let's go. Check us out. Get the towel, get the towel.
CompuBox numbers for the first 2 rounds are extremely close. Berto has landed 39 punches. Estrada has landed 38 punches. That round was 25 of 68 for Berto and 21 of 65 for Estrada. Larry mentioned the determination of Berto to try to keep working more behind his jab. 18 of 45 jabs in the second round.
Berto trying to show that he can think his way out of problems rather than just fight his way. Fighter has to be able to do both.
Berto's doing a good job by keeping that right hand up because Estrada's throwing that left hook like he means business.
Oh, Estrada's determination is fierce and visible. He's here to pressure Berto all the way. They've fought at a blistering pace so far. It'll be interesting to see if we get to round 6 or 7, which, if either, can keep this up.
Berto's elected to stand in and fight with Estrada. I don't know if that's the right move, but he's doing a good job. At the moment, he's not getting hit.
They're both making contact, and a lot of it is solid contact flush on the jaw. And Estrada seems to make his point there as Berto again backs up into the ropes. But you heard Andre's trainer, Tony Morgan, telling him, you've got much better foot movement, you've got much more skill, use it.
But sometimes a pressure fighter like Estrada makes you fight him.
Good left hook upstairs by Berto. Momentarily stuns Estrada and backs him up.
I don't like the fact that Berto's drawing a combination and then laying in there. He needs to put his hands up or even get out. Doesn't need to get in there and wait for the answer from Estrada.
Because the answer is coming. Estrada is attempting to answer every hard blow with a shot of his own.
When you've been stronger than every opponent you've faced, you're trying to prove once again that you're the stronger, tougher guy.
For the welterweight division, this is man-sized stuff. This is the kind of a fight Miguel Cotto could appreciate. Brutal, hard punishment to both the head and body inside.
See, this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Berto. He's throwing the combination, he's laying in there. It doesn't need to be. He's got enough skill to throw the combination and move.
Big right hand and a straight left by Berto. Estrada trying to show that he can come back one more time. 4-punch combination. What a round. And the crowd rises to its feet. And in the dressing room, Jermain Taylor, clearly in spectacular condition, hits the pads held by the great Emanuel Stewart as they prepare for what is yet again the biggest fight of Jermain Taylor's career. When you got the kind of career that Taylor has managed to fashion, you have a lot of biggest fights of your career. Tonight, a match against an unbeaten opponent to try to hold on to his championship and silence his very vocal critics. Both Taylor and Stewart have been assertive in recent weeks, saying Pavlik is overrated, Pavlik isn't in our league, Pavlik is definitely not what people think he is. Fairly unusual for Emanuel Stewart to be blowing that much smoke.
CompuBox numbers in the third round. Berto, 46 out of 83. Estrada, 43 out of 98. Most of them were power shots. It was one of the best rounds of the year. Harold, how do you have it so far?
It was an incredible round, Jim. 2 rounds to 1. 29-28, Andre Berto. Jim, I'll tell you something. I thought David Estrada stunned him in the first round with a left hook early. Andre Berto fought back well, but Estrada won the first round when he stunned Berto. 2 and 3. I thought that Andre Berto won. He outpunched him. But I got to tell you something. Andre Berto's great when he gets off first. When you put pressure on him and you get off against him, he doesn't punch back. He covers up. And that's when Estrada's effective. 2-1, Berto.
And a mark of urgency. There's the swelling on the outside of Andre Berto's right eye, which is beginning to creep into the orbit and may ultimately affect his vision.
And, you know, where he got that from was a left hook by Estrada. Anytime I see Berto dancing around, he has to keep that right hand up because Estrada's one of his best punches is that left hook, and he's looking to land it.
He's a devoted left hooker. And, of course, that swelling outside the eye could well come from the punch that both Larry and Harold have referenced, the left hook that Estrada landed in the first minute of round number 1. Would have been impossible, it seems, for the two fighters to come out and fight the 4th round at the same pace at which they fought the 3rd. I don't care how well conditioned you are. That was blistering stuff. Berto's putting up a reasonable facsimile right now.
And doing a very good job, Jim, of going to the body when Estrada covers up. Something you always look for in a young fighter. Like that.
That's one of the things that sets Cotto apart, is his will to invest in body shots throughout the fight. And you've seen many opponents fade in the late rounds against Cotto because he so intelligently applies the body discipline over and over. We'll see if Berto develops that throughout his career.
Now he is backing Estrada up.
This is where the powers come in by Berto, and Estrada's never been in against a guy like Berto. Berto can punch hard, and these are the effects of a hard puncher that can slow down another puncher.
Well, it's interesting. Estrada has been in with Kermit Cintron, and Kermit Cintron, trained by Emmanuel Stewart, is regarded as a right-hand bomber with a big punch. He knocked out Walter Matisse earlier this summer with a spectacular knockout here in Atlantic City. But Estrada said, well, Cintron wasn't the hardest puncher I've faced, not by any means. That was a guy named Randall Velardes, whom I fought in Miami a couple of years ago. He was a much bigger hitter, or Armando Velardes. He was a much bigger hitter than Cintron in my view. That was an odd thing to say.
Don't wait for him to come there. Inside, keep it. All right, he's trying to wait. He's going back and hit some bullshit. Drag look, all right? Breathe. Breathe. There you go. There you go. Touch it. And then move. Don't wait for him to come back. That's the only time you can do something when you're inside laid up on this dude. Yeah, put it right there and don't move it. Keep it tight there. All right? Don't pull that and see what's going on. Nothing.
Let's go, baby.
Estrada's trunks, as well as the jackets of his handlers, are made by a company associated with the great Roberto Duran.
And you saw between rounds, cutman Danny Milano working the end swell on Andre Berto's right eye. So far, they seem to be doing a fairly successful job of keeping the swelling from getting out of control. If there was supposed to be a jabbing contest tonight, and both fighters claimed they would commit to it and use it more, Berto is statistically winning the jabbing contest. But Estrada managed to get Berto into a corner and punish him once again for the carelessness of allowing himself to be backed into the corner.
And Estrada seems to be fighting in spurts because he looked like he took the last round off, but he's coming back strong in this round.
Fifth round of a scheduled 12.
I think he sensed, Lennox, that things were slipping away and he had to come back and make a statement if he was going to stay in this fight, and that's what he's trying right now.
Incidentally, Andre Berto's never been 12 rounds. He did go 10 in his last fight for the first time against Cosme Rivera. Estrada has fought 12-round fights before.
Good combinations by Berto. Good body punches.
Andre Berto's skill level is beginning to rise and surface in the fight. Both fighters are finding little moments here and there to get a breather in the fifth. The third round still stands out with such blistering action. Round in which between the two fighters they landed 84 power shots. And most of them very committed, hard punches thrown with conviction. Good left hook to the body again by Andre Berto, starting to mix that punch in more and more, and it's an intelligent thing to do.
Good left
combination
hook.
Upstairs, and another good left hook following the combination by Berto. Faster hands. Estrada gets in one big left hook.
I'll tell you, that's some gym down in Miami. I don't know how many guys survive every day in that gym where these fighters both train.
Phantom Gym, which is operated by Mike Marciante, a freelance matchmaker in the sport whom we know and most everybody knows. He gets around, knows a lot, one of the most skilled matchmakers there is. There's a big left hook along with a right hand in combination by Berto.
And Berto threw a blistering combination, and it was at some high speed. And as you can see, he's mounting an attack against Estrada, and Estrada definitely felt those punches.
Yeah, Estrada was knocked out in the 10th round by Cintron. That was after a long accumulation of punishment. He looks a little bit weary right now in the 5th as Berto struts to his corner. Kelly Pavlik preparing in his dressing room for what is the biggest show of his life. Pavlik was an underdog against Edison Miranda of Colombia when they fought on May 19 in Memphis, Tennessee. Before the fight, most of the attention focused on Miranda, who was calling out Jermain Taylor and saying that he was ready to take on the whole middleweight division, even at one point saying, "I'll fight Taylor and Pavlik in the same night." But Pavlik calmly told those who would listen that he would back Miranda up, that he would match him power shot for power shot, that he would wear the Colombian down and knock him out. 7 rounds on schedule. He did exactly what he said he would do. It was an eye-catching spectacle for the Youngstown, Ohio fighter who gets his chance at the title tonight.
And here we see Berto throwing a great right hand, causing Estrada to take a couple steps backwards.
You know, before this fight, Jim, I thought of Berto as a kind of a 1-2 fighter, chasing guys who weren't close to him. I've seen him tonight throw more solid, well-balanced combinations than we've ever seen him before.
And I concur with that. He's been throwing some great combinations. He's obviously been working hard in the gym, and it's evident tonight.
Well, I've never really thought of him as a 1-2 fighter, guys, because to me, he's always had, from the beginning, an excellent uppercut. And there are many young fighters, even celebrated young fighters, who haven't yet mastered the uppercut. Andre Berto has had it since his amateur days.
Well, inside he would throw it. That is true.
Good jab by Estrada there. They've been few and far between for him. Berto seemed a little surprised that Estrada stuck a jab in his face.
And you know, Estrada said he's going to throw a lot of jabs in this fight, but I don't see too many jabs by him. I see more left hooks than jabs.
Well, you know, so many fighters, 24, 25 fights into their career, get a big opportunity and say to themselves, I'm going to do something different. It's much easier to say it and even to work on it in the gym than to actually go into the ring and do it. Right, Lennox?
Yeah. Yes. Estrada just waving himself in. He's pushing his body forward, trying to get Berto against the ropes. What Berto should be doing is taking a step back and then a step to the side. Let him come forward and let him go past him and counterpunch him.
But Berto's defense has begun to leak just a little bit in this round. He got hit by a hard right-hand body shot moments ago, and that followed an eye-catching right upstairs for Estrada. This would be more dangerous for Berto, except that Estrada's punches don't seem to have the same steam and quickness that they had in the first couple of rounds.
And he hasn't gone to the body the way Berto does.
Combination punching again for Berto. Matching lefts and rights. Bouncing on his feet, showing energy.
And Berto has to be careful. Once he's throwing those combinations, he can't stop and relax and put his hands down, because there's always that threat of a left hook by Estrada.
Well, that's how he got nailed in his last fight, and maybe he's learned his lesson.
Berto was a candidate to make the United States Olympic team in the year 2004. He was involved in a controversy at the Olympic trials regarding a charge of roughhousing in his fight. At first disqualified, appealed, momentarily allowed back into the trials. Then ultimately the disqualification was reviewed and upheld. Banish Martirosyan, now an unbeaten young prospect in Southern California, wound up going to the Olympics in that weight class. Berto wound up then going to Haiti because of a technicality in the Haitian Olympic team eligibility rules. He was allowed to represent Haiti in the Olympic Games. Lost a very close decision in his first fight in Athens, but had that Olympic experience.
He wasn't on the Haitian boxing team. He was the Haitian boxing team. The only Haitian to be on that team.
All right, David, look. Don't wait. Don't wait for him to get tired, all right? He's in shape like you. So you gotta keep working that body. Now, don't take 2 jabs in the right hand. Just keep moving that head. I don't want you to see station with the hands up. You understand me? You gotta keep moving that head. As soon as you go down to that body, he drops his right hand. Throw the left hook. All right, man.
Looks good. Breathe.
I'm good.
Breathe. That left is starting to come. I know. But I need you to chop and step around and give me one underneath.
You feel your back on the rope, spin out.
Got you.
Halfway through, once again, Andre Berto's never gone 12 rounds before. Estrada has done it in his career. Harold Letterman, how do you have it so far?
Okay, Jim, 59, 55, 5 rounds to 1, Andre Berto. Jim, I got to tell you, in every round, David Estrada's competitive in his fight. It's not one-sided, but somehow or another, Andre Berto just does a little bit more to grab the judges' attention. He lands the cleaner shots, the harder shots, the better combinations. Nice ring generalship right there to bring the fight into the middle of the ring. He just does that little bit extra to grab the round. He's won 5 in a row, 5-1, Berto.
And incidentally, earlier I mentioned the swelling outside of Berto's right eye. There's now some swelling outside the left eye of David Estrada. No doubt the result of having been laced by right hands in combination from Andre Berto.
Berto is getting the experience that some nights you can go out there and hit a guy with everything you have, and he's going to still be there. It's a lesson every professional has to learn.
And I asked him about that in question, and he said he's been working on that in the gym, working against heavier guys than him, and really focusing on those type of things.
Well, once again, Estrada has only been knocked out once. That was by Kermit Cintron. And that means that Sugar Shane Mosley went the distance with him, so it would be no shame to go the distance with David Estrada. You'd be doing the same thing that a surefire Hall of Fame fighter accomplished.
Estrada was the first opponent that Mosley fought when he moved back down to welterweight.
Estrada says the single hardest punch he's ever felt was a left hook to the body by Mosley. Mosley's left hook to the body wrecked many opponents in the lightweight division. Berto may get into position to wreck Estrada here if he continues to land with the consistency he's shown in the last minute.
Berto's doing the right thing. He's throwing combinations. He's not standing in one place too long, and he's turning Estrada. He's moving around, not making himself an easy target.
About an hour ago, when the rest of us were just fooling around, Larry Merchant was working, and he talked to Jermain Taylor.
Jermain, after fighting 3 different kinds of southpaws, you're finally going in against a so-called conventional fighter. What does that mean to you?
It means a great fight. And, I finally got an opponent that comes to fight and who want to fight. And who's just a conventional fighter. Just don't do nothing special. He just comes to fight.
Do you feel then that this is a chance to, so to speak, get your groove back?
Exactly. I feel like on this fight, I plan on going in there just having fun like I used to do, going there and taking care of business.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
That's been one of the frequent predictions about this fight. I myself have articulated a few times to various radio outlets and others that if you've written Jermain Taylor off, and some people have, you might be shocked at how good he'll look against a fighter who will trade with him and give his offense a chance to float. CompuBox numbers through 7. Berto 215 landed out of 500. Estrada 187 out of 484. Those are very comparable numbers. Harold Letterman made the point. Every round is competitive, but he has Berto winning all but one of them so far.
Estrada does best in the first minute, and Berto has been winning the rounds by doing better in the second and third minutes of the rounds.
Round 8 of a scheduled 12, only the second time that Berto has been forced to this distance. He did go 10 full rounds with Cosme Rivera in his last fight. It'll be interesting to see if he has to go to the 11th and 12th tonight. Good body shot, sets up a right, a left, and another help left hook upstairs. Estrada finally answers back, and now there's a trickle of blood from the nose of David Estrada as Berto landed 6 punches in succession.
Estrada looks like a beaten man, but he's not fighting like a beaten man.
But it does look like the punches of Berto are affecting Estrada. It's slowing him down and he's giving Berto a lot of respect. And the only thing Estrada knows to do is put his head down and fight.
Well, he's got a bloody nose and a bloody mouth for his efforts.
But tremendous will and heart. David Estrada refusing to quit and refusing to wilt against a guy who is beginning to dish out very vicious punishment.
I thought that a left right to the midsection started this barrage and hurt Estrada, but back he comes.
And Estrada does look hurt.
But there he throws 7 punches in succession to announce with his fists that he's still in the fight. What a show. What a table setter.
He's leaving himself open for that uppercut by Berto. Oh, that was a great shot by Berto.
Tremendous right hand. Estrada looping his right hand in return. Estrada's beginning to win and loop all of his punches. If Berto shortens up and stays to the inside, he'll get a chance to do terrific damage.
Another terrific round.
And the crowd loves it.
It's all right,
Good, man.
It's all right, Doc. It's all right.
Gabe, how you feel? All right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah? How's that eye? All right?
Yeah, good.
You see okay?
Yep. David, listen to me. You can't take that shit now, all right? Don't let him fucking hit you like that. You gotta hit him like that yourself. Be first. Be first. Be last.
And here we see Estrada catching Berto with an overhand right against the ropes. But here we see a great uppercut by Berto, followed by a left. This is where Estrada keeps his head down and is susceptible to these uppercuts.
The only thing better than seeing that replay is seeing that the first time.
Power shots in the 8th round. You remember how stunned we were by the 3rd round, in which the two guys combined to land 84 power shots. They landed 94 power shots by CompuBox count in the 8th round. Andre Berto, 51 out of 62. That's stunning accuracy. 82% of his power shots. So Estrada is an open target as his arms wander farther and farther out to the side, and he wings more and more shots. And Lennox, watching all this, I'm reminded of the immortal words of Mike Tyson. Boxing is a hurt business.
It is a hurt business, especially when you keep your head down. You need to look at your opponent and see the punches coming. If you're waving in with your head down, these punches, such as an uppercut that you get hit by, hurts you a lot more because you don't see it coming, so you can't prepare for it.
Let's go. Let him go, David. Let him go.
Estrada looking around the ring as he pulls Berto forward with his shoulder on Berto's shoulder, and he kind of grinned at us and winked as if to say, isn't this fun? More fun for us, David.
Hey. Yo, come on, man. I don't want to take a point.
Referee David Fields warning Estrada against the bull rush tactic. Not a football game.
You know, if Estrada feels he has to clinch, it means he's really hurt, because he doesn't really want to clinch.
You know, you see Estrada sometimes looking away, and Berto seeming to punch him in the back of the head, but that's not Berto's fault. That's Estrada's fault for turning away.
Estrada with his mouth open, breathing heavily, and it looks as though the blood is pouring inside his mouth as well as in the nose. Berto with another good uppercut, this time with the left hand. Throws it from both sides. Estrada suddenly out of a southpaw stance. Now leans onto Berto's shoulder again.
You know, you've seen Berto hold Estrada and look over to his corner. That shows a good poise and good relaxation, and he's doing the right thing. In those kind of situations, you can look at your corner for advice, and he did that.
Estrada landed a flush left hook. Kind of punch that bothered Berto in the first round. This time Andre walked right through it. An indication that the mustard is gone from David Estrada's punches. When you're winging them and throwing them in a big arc from outside, it doesn't have the same effect. And as I made that comment, Berto looked over here and winked as if to say, you're exactly right. He's not hurting me.
Looks like some of the powers come away from Estrada, and he's not punching with the type of severity as he had in the first couple rounds.
You see that? He's slowing down.
Pull it out. Pull it out. You're almost there, baby.
David, how we doing?
Good.
Yeah, let me take a look at him real quick, guys. How you doing? All right, you taking a lot of shots?
I'm good, man. I ain't fucking.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. It's okay.
Dave, you all right, bro? Yeah, man. All right. Look, take a little dance around, man. You don't have to have it. We stay in front of him all the time. Take one round off, but dance around, fake, get that, regain that.
This right here. I see you try and go for the little chop. Good. Make sure you're sharp with it. Make sure you're sharp with it. Make sure you're sharp with it.
9 rounds of a scheduled 12 in the books.
Larry Hazard, who is a very proactive commissioner, had everybody in the corner checking Estrada out. I thought that was an excellent thing for him to be doing.
Exactly right. He was marshaling doctors and referee David Fields toward Estrada's corner, standing up between rounds as if to say, keep an eye on this person. Berto has landed 72 of 94 power shots in the last 2 rounds. Harold, how do you have it so far?
8 rounds to 1, 89-82. Andre Berto. Jim, I gotta tell you something. I saw the same thing that heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis saw, and that is David Estrada is fighting with his head down. I mean, you can't miss it. He's looking at the canvas and winging wide shots and getting hit with vicious shots to the side of the head. I mean, Lennox has called it right there. You just saw it. Lennox has called it a number of times in this fight, and that's what's happening. Andre Berto, 8 rounds to 1.
Why is his head down, Lennox? Is he simply ducking to try to avoid punishment?
Well, you know, this is a style that he's adopted right now. It's not really a good style. Needs to look at your opponent, especially because you don't want to get hit by any punch that you can't see, because that makes it an even harder shot to deal with. And those type of punches can really hurt you or knock you out.
Classic case of the punch you never see coming, at least in your career, would be Oliver McCall's knockout shot in London back in 1993. A punch that you never really saw him launch, is that correct?
Well, he wound up the same time I wound up, and he landed the first, because he had shorter arms, he landed the first punch, and it was very effective.
A loss later avenged, of course, as was the only other loss of Lennox's career to Hasim Rahman. One of only 2 heavyweight champions in history to have beaten every man with whom he was ever in the ring.
Berto has never gone into these so-called championship rounds, and he seems to be facing himself in a poised way, understanding that he has the upper hand, the lower hand, and every other hand.
And the quicker hand. And you know when Berto gets in the corner, to me it's like he's doing martial arts in there. You know, he's telling Estrada, throw some punches. I got them, I can see him coming, and I'm blocking them, and this is what I'm gonna answer with. And what he answers with is speed combinations and sometimes uppercuts.
Second time into the 10th round for Berto. Unknown territory will be the 11th and 12th, if it goes that far. Estrada tries a footwork change, and it gets him nothing other than 2 more vicious right hands.
What he did was run out of ideas.
Well, we showed you Larry's conversation with Jermain Taylor. Shortly after that, in the opposing dressing room, a conversation with Kelly Pavlik.
Kelly, up to now, is this the way you imagined this moment?
Yeah, it's caught up, and we're just anxious to get in there. I mean, this has been something for 7 years that I've been waiting for, and I'm excited. I can't wait to get in there and let my hands go.
How do you beat the champion?
My style is, a lot of punches. We're going to do different angles, different head movement. Just a lot of different things we have planned for this fight, and we're going to stick to our game plan like we do every fight, and he's going to have to keep up with us.
Thank you, Kelly.
Badly swelling left eye of David Estrada as he comes out for the 11th round. Tremendously courageous, gutty performance for Estrada against the hard-punching Andre Berto. Sharp-punching Berto into the 11th round.
And this just shows what type of shape Berto's in, that he can be in the 10th round and still be throwing fast, quick combinations. If you look at Estrada, he's slowed down quite a bit, but still a dangerous man. Still got that dangerous hook that he wants to land so badly.
Let him go.
Estrada resolutely firing off a 4-punch combination, trying to reestablish himself in the fight. Berto poised, weathers the storm, fires back an uppercut.
This is a fight that suggests
another uppercut. Oh, down with a straight right hand. Lost his balance on the uppercut. The right hand was the coup de grace.
That's it. He can't make it no more. That referee's going to stop that fight. If he doesn't, he's still walking on his heels. The referee should have stopped that fight a long time ago. Berto's just destroying him.
And now here comes the trainer from Estrada's corner racing across the ring to stop the action before David Fields gets a chance to make any more decisions about it. And it's a knockout victory for Andre Berto in the 11th round.
Andre Berto is a much improved fighter, and you can tell by the way he fought this fight. He showed good poise, he showed quickness, he showed determination. He's a thinking fighter in there. He wants to be a champion. He showed it. This is a great fight for him, and he's improved tremendously.
That's a high grade. Larry, what's your evaluation?
Well, earlier you made reference to his father motoring along beside him as he ran and occasionally bumping him when he didn't think he was running hard enough. I think his father now will give him a ride back to Florida if he wants to.
Let's take a look at the knockout, Lennox.
And here you see the knockdown right on the chin.
That came after being softened up for 10 rounds.
And being starched by an uppercut that left Estrada a sitting duck for the straight right hand.
And let me tell you, there was full power behind that.
And now here's the end as referee David Fields allows the action to continue. And standing up in the far corner, Luis Lageman, Estrada's trainer, is coming over the ropes at this moment, racing across the ring to stop the action. As Fields jumps in and throws his arm skyward, Lageman was almost there to grab his fighter.
And here you see it again. David Estrada not looking at all, not seeing where the punches are coming from. Referee saving him right there in the corner. Good stoppage. Should have been stopped a little earlier, but referee was there still.
Here comes Lageman, who saw the danger in which his fighter had been placed at that moment. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars on the knockout.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we give the official time, a round of applause for the young man who is up and on his feet now from Chicago, Illinois, David Estrada. Fifth time, 1 minute, 17 seconds, round number 11. The winner by TKO victory, still undefeated, Andre Berto.
CompuBox numbers. Berto landing nearly half of his 737 total punches thrown in the fight. David Estrada, such a willing, tough opponent, never gave up, threw almost as many punches as did Berto. His landing rate dropped throughout the fight as his punches wandered wider and made him an easier and easier target for Berto's power shots. All in all, a terrific performance by the young fighter from Winter Haven, Florida. He said he wanted to work on his jab. He said that he wanted to show more poise. He did indeed produce the numerical indicators that the jab was a commitment he had made tonight. If he landed 32% of his jabs, he must have landed about 65% of his power shots, and indeed he did. 244 out of 375. You'll seldom, if ever, see that statistic in an 11-round fight. It means that David Estrada took unbelievable punishment and showed enormous will to make it as far as he made it in the fight. And coming up on HBO next Saturday, the long-awaited rematch between Manny Pacquiao and Marcio Antonio Barrera. It's on HBO pay-per-view. October 13, Boxing After Dark brings you a lightweight unification bout between Juan Diaz and Julio Diaz. November 3, a 168-pound unification bout between Joe Calzaghe and Mikhail Kessler. This one will be live back to the United States from Cardiff, Wales. Following that fight, it's countdown to Cotto Mosley. Looking ahead to the next week's matchup after that. November 10, HBO pay-per-view brings you welterweight champion Miguel Cotto against Sugar Shane Mosley in a classic-style matchup. November 17, Boxing After Dark, 130-pound champion Joan Guzman against Humberto Soto. What a matchup that is. The next night brings you the premiere of Mayweather Hatton 24/7, an all-week or 4-week all-access look at both fighters as they prepare for their December 8th showdown. Then on the 8th, Floyd Mayweather against Ricky Hatton on HBO pay-per-view. It's the end of a fascinating run of live boxing on HBO and HBO pay-per-view, all coming this fall. What a boxing schedule that is. And up next, our main event from here in Atlantic City. Middleweight champion Jermain Taylor facing for the first time a man who is longer and possibly stronger in Kelly Pavlik. That fight will begin in just a few minutes. A pulsating arena. Tremendous excitement now as everyone here gets ready for the main event of the evening after having been tuned up by a spectacular performance by young Andre Berto. Welcome back once again with former world heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis. Lennox, we began the evening talking about the firestorm of criticism which has surrounded Jermain Taylor for his unimpressive performances in recent fights, particularly against Kassim Ouma and Corey Spinks. We know what's bad about Taylor. All you have to do is look at the boxing websites to learn that. But he's still unbeaten. He's still the middleweight champion of the world. So what's good about him?
what's good about him, that he's a great athlete. He's got that desire, that burning desire to win at any cost. He's got money in the bank. He's bought his parents a house. I don't know if that's good, because he said he wants to box for money. He's got money now. He's rich. Now, does he want to be a champion? This is the question we're going to see in the fight.
Well, a lot of people have been waiting to see if the great Emmanuel Stewart can produce a genuine enhancement of Jermain Taylor's boxing skills. And a lot of people say if it's ever going to happen, it'll happen tonight, because they've spent time alone in a training camp for the first time. The man who wanted Stewart to become Taylor's trainer is his longtime mentor and extremely close advisor, Ozell Nelson. Together, they've fashioned the best kind of boxing stories, rags to riches, for the right reasons. Let's go to Little Rock.
Scenes like this once defined Ozell Nelson's life. He was a bricklayer, just like his brothers, just like his father before him. But for Nelson, there was always something beyond the sun, cement, and cinder block. A different kind of craft he had always wanted to touch, but never could.
Well, I always have been like a street fighter. You know, in school, I loved to box, but I guess I had nobody to guide me. When my nephew came along, he wanted to box. I said, man, I'm gonna find you a gym.
Here at the Arkansas Boxing Club in Little Rock, Nelson found not only a gym for his nephew, but an outlet for his own boxing passion. After 4 years as an assistant trainer, Nelson inherited full reign over the club, and with it, a demanding second career.
Me and him were working together, and we had an understanding that he can go take off whenever he get ready. But a lot of kids that he had wasn't fortunate enough to get back and forth to his gym, so he would basically go pick up kids.
I had this pickup truck. I probably had about 12, 15 kids on the truck, because that's the only way that I was gonna have some kids at the gym. It was for me to go pick them up.
One of those kids was Jermain Taylor. Taylor was 13 years old when a cousin first brought him to Nelson's gym. His circumstances at home, however, meant he was mature beyond his years.
My mother had to work. Daddy wasn't there. So it was just me. I had to be the man of the house at an early age. But I didn't mind. I took care of business. I did what had to be done.
I talked to his mother, and he said, Coach, I'm holding you responsible for my baby. And I said, okay. I said, I will take care of him.
For Jermain and the other kids at the club, Ozell's lessons extended far beyond boxing.
I said, from now on, when y'all come down here, it's yes, sir, no, sir. And when you talk to anybody, I want to hear yes, sir, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. If it don't, it's 20 push-up. I don't care where we at.
I start respecting him when, he showed me that he cared. He'll come get me wherever I'm at. He'll drive all the way, even though it's out his way. He'll come pick me up. I ain't never really had no man really, step in my life. Can't take over like that.
Jermain took to Ozell so quick because he needed a father. And that's exactly what Ozell was to Jermain.
A lot of times that we went on fights, I was too tired to take him home. So I used to tell his mom, I said, Jermain just gonna stay with me. So Jermain became part of the family.
I bet that was the hardest thing in the world because he has his own family. It took me a while to understand that, what he was sacrificing and the things he going through. But I think I finally realized when he took me on the job with him.
Nobody wants to be a bricklayer. That's a one hard, hot job. So I brought Jermain out there one day, just to show how it feels, I said, you want to get a better job than what I got here.
And man, I'm just like, it's hot out here. And the heat is ridiculous.
And Jermain hauled up, Coach. He said, I'm ready to listen to you now, Coach. He said, what's that? He said, I'm ready to box.
For Taylor, boxing was a way out from his often violent surroundings.
When the summer came, we always shut our gym down because it was so hot. And Jermain came to me. He didn't want to. He come outside, come with his head down. He said, Coach, you shut the gym down. I'm gonna get in trouble.
I remember coming home from boxing practice, and a friend of mine got shot. Somebody got robbed. Somebody got stabbed. And I always told myself, to thank God for boxing. I was gone. And then he told me he was gonna close down the gym. I was like, oh man, it's over. I'm finna get in all kinds of trouble.
So I said, Jermain, I tell you what, I'm gonna keep the gym open, because I see something in you.
It's kind of scary because he already knew it. He's seen it before. He told me all this was coming. He told me I was going to make the Olympic team. He told me I was going to be champion. And now it's just to where he like, I didn't think we'd go this far.
We helped each other. I mean, it was something that helped me because it was something that I always had wanted to do that couldn't do.
Jermain Taylor's success means Ozell Nelson's days of manual labor are now a distant memory. He remains, however, Taylor's most trusted confidant, a former bricklayer who laid the foundation for a champion.
I think it's a blessing that God sent this kid into my life, and I guess I was sent into his life.
One of the great things about tonight is that two unbeaten American fighters meet each other for the legitimate middleweight championship of the world, and just as it's wonderful that a town like Little Rock can produce a fighter like Jermain Taylor, so too it's noteworthy that Kelly Pavlik hails from the working class hero town of Youngstown, Ohio. Larry Merchant, in the countdown show that built up to this fight, you said that Youngstown's great history of boxing, Ray Boom Boom Mancini and others like him, was sort of the muscle memory of that steel town. Exactly how can that help Pavlik in tonight's battle?
Tradition, history, even geography can be destiny. It's to Taylor's enormous credit that coming from Arkansas, he could imagine himself to be a prize fight champion. Youngstown, which is about an hour's drive to Cleveland and Pittsburgh, that whole region has turned out many fighters and champions. Perhaps it's all reflected in Pavlik's style. For a tall guy, he is unusually busy and aggressive. And speaking of muscle memory, when he left home a few days ago to come to Atlantic City, there were 500 people around there giving him, a boxer, a pep rally. A pep rally for a boxer,
Just
Jim.
as though it's the night before the homecoming game, and supposedly as many as 5,000 of Pavlik's friends and family members from Youngstown have made the journey here tonight to be in Atlantic City. When you look at the story of Kelly Pavlik and his background, it's not at all dissimilar to the story of Jermain Taylor. Simply substitute for the name Ozell Nelson another good American name, Jack Lowe. Let's go to Youngstown.
Youngstown was a steel town at one time. Everybody made a living here through the steel mills. Homes were built and college educations were funded through the mills. Now, they're all gone. No more mills.
Youngstown, Ohio, in the heart of America's Rust Belt, a city which has yet to recover from its economic collapse in the 70s.
Economically, there's nothing here. Youngstown is trying right now to rebound. It's going to be a lot of work. I mean, we've been down for so long.
It was such a proud city, one of the leading cities at one time, and is no more.
But pride in local boxing endured, peaking during Ray Boom Boom Mancini's heyday in the 80s. It continues today with Kelly Pavlik, a kid who grew up like most boys in this blue-collar mill town.
My mom worked at a restaurant, and my dad worked at the steel mills. I played baseball, football, I played basketball down at the YMCA.
Kelly was a great athlete. Whatever he did, it just seemed to come natural to him.
Michael, my oldest brother, was actually really good at baseball, and my brother Ricky was a really good baseball player. So of course, being the youngest, you just want to follow everything that they do. You want to be as good, if not better.
Three boys never get along in the same house. They love each other to death, but they'd fight with each other, just go to war.
That's what made me, I think, a little tough. Them beat me up all the time, but they also loved me and also watched over me and protected me too, so and taught me a lot of things.
The familial toughness and the need to compete with his brothers led to the youngest Pavlik's penchant for fighting.
In the early 80s, a whole bunch of karate movies were coming on. So we took him to a karate studio, and it just didn't work out.
There wasn't enough contact. It was kind of boring, and I kept begging my mom and dad, let me go down to boxing gym. I want to, you let Michael and Ricky go down there and box. Let me go down.
The very first day he went there, that was it. I mean, he's been there ever since. It was just an instant love affair.
My mom, it was really hard for me to get her to bring me down here. My dad wasn't very happy with the idea of me coming down here, but they never forced me out of the sport. And they thought that eventually I would get tired of it, and it was a little phase that I was going through.
That little phase is now a lifelong passion. For the past 16 years, the Southside Boxing Club has been Pavlik's second home.
Kelly came in the gym. He was a ballsy kid. He took numerous butt kickings. And he'd leave here t-shirt bleeding, blood, all bloody. And you knew he was a tough kid when he come back.
And you get in there and you get beat up and you get to punch somebody else and beat them up. And it was just that contact, the one-on-one aspect of it that I fell in love with.
Harnessing Pavlik's raw ability was a job for Jack Lowe, a full-time asphalt sealer who also owned a local boxing gym.
I'm up at 5:30 in the morning getting ready to go out to work and do some driveways. Then I'll take a break and I go run Kelly, and then he goes home and I go back out and do driveways till it's time to come to the gym.
Jack Lowe has been with Kelly since he's been 9 years old. He knows what Kelly feels. He knows what to say to Kelly, what not to say to Kelly. They almost know what each other's thinking.
This is a big dream come true. Everybody, whether you're a football coach, baseball coach, basketball coach, or boxing coach, you hope that one kid walks through the door, but you never really think it's gonna happen. You just hope. And I was fortunate. Kelly is stuck with me, and I think we got a good thing going. That's it, stepping down.
Under Lowe's watchful eye, an undefeated knockout artist has emerged.
He put Zertucci to sleep with a right hand.
Of Pavlik's 31 pro fights, 28 have ended early.
The way he trains, the way he works out, when it's time to buckle down, Kelly does the job, and I couldn't be more proud of the kid. He's just a big, brutal, strong middleweight. Kelly's the type of kid that's capable. Once he touches that chin, you're gonna change your game plan.
Kelly Pavlik has a huge knockout victory.
It don't look like I hit that hard on film, or that I'm that strong. I do have power. The knockouts, come along with it.
He's a strong-willed, sturdy fighter with an asphalt sealer as his trainer. No wonder the people of Youngstown can so closely identify with Kelly Pavlik.
People are happy to see something going well. Youngstown's rebounding and gradually, getting better. People are happy to see, what I'm doing with the area, and they support me, and it makes a big difference when you have a lot of fans behind you.
And at ringside, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, among those from Youngstown, here tonight.
Mancini's father was a top fighter, and he flew in from California for this fight. Another ex-lightweight champion, Harry Arroyo, is somewhere in the stands as well.
And Kelly Pavlik is on his way to the ring. And because of the influx of Youngstown fans, along, of course, with the enthusiasm that Pavlik generated in the sport with his tremendous performance against Edison Miranda in May, you have to expect that this will be a pro-Kelly Pavlik crowd during the fight tonight.
Atlantic City is finding out there is life after Arturo Gatti.
And it'll be interesting to see if, in fact, the overwhelming enthusiasm for Pavlik here tonight affects Taylor in any way, given that Jermain is so accustomed to fighting in Memphis, Tennessee, where many of his big fights have taken place before heavily pro-Jermain Taylor crowds. But of course, Taylor finds himself a champion who's swimming against the tide of public opinion now, and that is expected to be a big motivator for him in the fight.
Should point out here, Jim, that this is an even money fight until a day or so ago. The money has now come in on the champion. He's an 8-5 favorite.
Lennox, Kelly Pavlik almost always has a smile on his face.
He's just happy to be here. He can't wait for this fight. He actually ran into the ring to show you how excited he is about this fight.
Now here's the Youngstown crowd, and probably to a certain degree the New Jersey Atlantic City crowd, expressing their disapproval of Taylor. Bad intentions become a bad reception, and you can almost hear Emmanuel Stewart saying, Jermain, put it to work, baby.
And I can feel for what Emmanuel's saying right now. He means business, and he's telling Jermain that let's go do this.
According to the promoters, about half the crowd, or 5,000, is from Youngstown, a 6.5-hour drive from Atlantic City. About a quarter of the crowd is from Arkansas, and the other quarter is just us boxing degenerates.
Tale of the tape coming up in a moment for Jermain Taylor against Kelly Pavlik as you look at the last 3 appearances, or 3 of the last 4 appearances, or 4 actually of the last recent appearances for Taylor in the ring. That was a list of 4 fights, counting the 2 wins over Hopkins, the draw with Winky Wright, hotly disputed draw. A lot of people thought Wright deserved the victory. And then Taylor's lopsided decision over Kasim Uma, which impressed few, and his lopsided decision over Corey Spinks, which impressed almost no one. They fought each other in the Olympic trials in the year 2000 when Jermain was 4 years older at age 21. Now he's 29 and Pavlik is 25. Kelly was only 17 when they met as amateurs. A 1-inch height advantage for Pavlik. Jermain Taylor has never as a professional been in the ring with someone who lists taller than himself. Arm length advantage of 1 inch measured from the armpit to the end of the fist for Pavlik. They both weighed in at or slightly under the 160-pound limit. Unofficially tonight, Taylor up to 166, Pavlik to 168. They both appeared to be in spectacular shape. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Jermain Taylor Kelly Pavlik fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards after 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round.
There's a lot of excitement in the house, Harold. Thank you. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we are starting now by way of Caesars Atlantic City. DeBella Entertainment, in association with Top Rank Incorporated, are proud to present the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the universally recognized middleweight championship of the world. Sponsored by FreeTheFan.com, the best place to talk about sports, sanctioned by the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board Boxing Commissioner Larry Hazard Sr., Chairman Tony Orlando, the World Boxing Council President Jose Suleiman, and the World Boxing Organization President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout on the 10-point system from Italy: Guido Cavalieri. From the United States, Julie Letterman. From the United States, John Stewart. And inside the ring, your referee in charge of the action at the bell, Steve Smoger. And now, undefeated challenger versus undefeated champion. Somebody's has gotta go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing gray with red, official weight 159 1/2 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 31 bouts, 31 victories, including 28 knockouts. From Youngstown, Ohio, the undefeated #1 ranked middleweight contender in the world, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik. And fighting out of the red corner, wearing white with razorback red trim, official weight 159 pounds. Professional record 28 bouts without a loss, 27 victories, including 70 knockouts with 1 bout even. He's the fighting pride of Little Rock, Arkansas, the universally recognized, undefeated, reigning, defending middleweight champion of the world, Jermain Bad Intentions Taylor.
No. All right, gentlemen, you were given your instructions in your dressing rooms. Please obey my commands, respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself at all times. God bless you both. Touch gloves. Touch gloves. Thank you.
Does the champion want to keep his championship as much as the challenger wants to take it? Let's get it on.
Looks like to me like they got some disdain for each other. They mean business.
Jermain Taylor comes out with a big right hand over the top. Referee Steve Smoger, veteran from the Upper East Coast, is known as a puncher's referee. He will let the damage ensue. Kelly Pavlik says he's going to throw 80 to 100 punches per round. And Jermain Taylor is landing early, getting off faster than Pavlik at the beginning. Good hard jab by Taylor, who said that he's going to reinstitute his jab in this fight, saying that he realizes it hasn't been as good in recent fights as he needs it to be. Taylor sticking his jab in. Pavlik sticking his jab into Taylor's face now. Jermain missing with a right hand over the top that was designed to do damage.
See, Taylor right now, he needs to focus on stopping Pavlik's jab because he's getting through with his jab, and he has to realize there's a size difference, so he's going to have longer arms, so he's got to prepare for that.
Don't punch, step, step, step. Hands up.
Nervous energy being expended here now.
Pavlik starting to get rolling after having gotten jumped a little bit in activity by Taylor at the start.
He said he wanted to be patient, Jim, but Taylor didn't give him a chance to be patient, although not many of Taylor's punches have actually landed flat.
Pavlik blocking some, but Taylor stuck a couple of left hands in. They trade in the center of the ring. They haven't really moved from the center of the ring.
Good right hand, another one by Pavlik.
Pavlik backing Taylor up with the two right hands.
Taylor needs to give Pavlik a lot more respect and keep his hands up, because this is where Pavlik is dangerous, especially in the first rounds. You know, you have to give this guy respect and concentrate a little more on defense and not get hit by these little shots.
Good left hook by Jermain Taylor. His faster hands apparent, but he hasn't been able to back Pavlik off. Good combination by Pavlik. And a long right hand over the top.
Yeah, Taylor's much too close to Pavlik right now and should be more on his toes and not allow him to get across with these right hands. Definitely he needs to keep that right hand, that left hand up and not get hit by right hand.
But Lennox, he's not an on-your-toes fighter. He's a flat-footed fighter. He'll come forward or go backward. That's his game.
Your trainers are going to ask them to box. Both guys want to fight. That's what's happening. Crowd begins to chant, Pavlik, Pavlik, Pavlik.
So far, Taylor has stood up to those clean right hands well.
Well, if you notice, he's elected to move his head a bit more, which is much needed.
First round was so active and intense, it seemed short.
He won that round, okay? He got that round, but don't worry about it. You got him fighting at a faster pace than he's used to fighting at. And your guess is good. We'll try to rip him to the body some. A lot of the punches where you're punching at him, but he's pulling back, he's out of range because he's fresh. As he slows down, you'll find him with the shots, okay? But try to watch his right hand.
Listen to me. Control the pace, be patient. He's desperate already. He's desperate already. Just relax, stay behind the jab, right hand hook. It's a basic fucking fight with this kid.
Exactly. Jab, jab, right hand, and stay up, stay not in the middle distance, stay outside. That's your fight.
I'm trying to figure out what Emmanuel means when he says he's not used to this pace, when in fact Kelly Pavlik has fought at much harder paces, throwing many more punches than Taylor in the past.
Pavlik had a big round for CompuBox numbers, landing 43 of 89. Taylor 26 out of 72. Harold Letterman agrees with Emmanuel Stewart that Pavlik won the first round. They go back to trading in the center of the ring. Hard right hand by Taylor. Flush on Pavlik's face. Kelly keeps coming forward.
They broke themselves up.
Taylor needs to settle down a bit. Pavlik has shown great poise. You know, his trainer's right. Really, what he needs to do is fundamentals, and that's jab, jab, right hand, and he's doing a good job at it right now.
Pavlik looks very comfortable midway through round 2. Taylor showing a lot of wasted motion, doesn't yet seem to be quite as happy with the way things are going as is Kelly Pavlik. If you saw the countdown show that helped to set up this fight, it established the kind of intensity that is shown there as Taylor suddenly gets Pavlik in big trouble. Kelly Pavlik getting raked by hard right hand and left there, and down Pavlik goes down.
That is it.
That was a tremendous barrage from Jermain Taylor. That was the best offensive show in Taylor's last 6 fights.
That was a right hand started that barrage. There's a minute and a half to go, a half a round still to go.
And it was followed by a series of rights and lefts. And Taylor has Pavlik in big trouble. And a chance to finish him right here.
I'm so surprised that Pavlik could come back from that. It's still early, that's why he can come back. But he's getting hit. And like I said, Jermain means real business. He's going for broke now. He wants to win this fight. He wants to take Pavlik out straight away.
And remember, Steve Smoger is not a quick stoppage referee. Steve Smoger is a fight referee who allows the fight to go.
Shows you the kind of determination Pavlik has. He's still hanging on.
Taylor not making clean contact anymore, and Pavlik is beginning to find his legs.
Pavlik is a tough cookie from Youngstown.
It would be shocking if he could finish what he went through, or survive what he went through. Another big uppercut from Taylor. And now Kelly Pavlik has his legs back under him for the moment and starts to hit Taylor back.
Taylor has punched himself out a little bit here, and he needs a blow.
Body shots from Taylor. Pavlik has managed to regain his stability. He's going to make it out of the second round, it appears. What an assault and what a survival.
You're all right, you're all right, you're all right. Give me a towel. Let me take a look at him. Kelly, how you feeling? All right, you're all right. You're all right. All right. Yeah? Is that okay? Let me see. Good shot. He's all right. Yeah, it's not bad. It's okay. He's okay now. He's okay. He's all right. How you doing, baby? You back with us? I'm good. Okay, it's okay. All right. He's gonna come after you. Just caught you with stupid shit. Stay on that double fucking jab.
And this is the punch that really hurt Pavlik. He had his hands down, and all of a sudden came an onslaught of punches by Jermain Taylor. And here we look at the knockdown. Combination of punches that caught him still early in the fight and put him down to his knees.
Last time Jermain Taylor hurt somebody like that, it was Daniel Edouard in the fight that set up his title shot against Bernard Hopkins. Taylor landed 52 out of 75 punches in the round. Pavlik 20 out of 47. Taylor landed 42 power shots. And if Kelly Pavlik needed to learn respect for Jermain Taylor's punching power, you would hope he has learned it now. And here comes Pavlik with straight right hands again. He backs Taylor into the corner. What a fight. They dried the blood from Pavlik's nose, and he's alive and well for the moment.
Jack Dempsey said that champions get up when they don't think they can, so do challengers.
Step.
See, one punch Jermain does very well is throw a right hand right over Pavlik's jab, so Pavlik can't be slow with that jab. He needs to get it out and back because Jermain is definitely looking for that overhand right.
This is a gutsy round for Pavlik so far. If he can win this round, it would make a big statement.
He shows that he still believes he's the offensive force in the fight. He goes forward
intrepidly into the haymakers and the windmill of Taylor's fast hands.
Push him off, now. Push him off. Hey!
Hard right hand inside for Taylor. Pavlik still sticking his left. Pavlik has tactically controlled this round, and now he lands a big combination and backs Taylor off. Tremendous combination. Pavlik trying to find a damaging right hand. Strafes Taylor with lefts and rights. How will Jermain get out of the corner? Takes a thudding right hand. Blocks another shot and another booming right. And now Taylor rips him with a left and a right.
Step out. Step out.
Pavlik never really caught Taylor with any flush shots, though, but he did give him a lot of punches in there. Something to think about.
Gentlemen, we have a fight.
Taylor had a big rally, but Pavlik, for the most part, controlled the round. Immediately following Boxing Tonight, countdown to Pacquiao Barrera 2. Our documentary-style look at both superstars, heroes in their native countries. October 6th on HBO pay-per-view. Next Saturday night, the live fight. Manny Pacquiao against Marco Antonio Barrera in a rematch of their meeting 4 years ago, which Pacquiao won by spectacular knockout.
Run out of gas and you're in the catch. Okay? Come on, Jermain. You got to stay off the road, baby. Stay off the road. Stay off the road.
Stop it. There ain't no staying in the count. If he stops it, it's over with. You can't let him get too many punches off. If not, just tie him up. But don't let him get too many shots.
And here's Pavlik catching Jermain with a body shot, which kind of slowed him down and surprised him for a moment. And after that, a rally of punches.
In the third round, Kelly Pavlik, after having been knocked down and almost out in the second, Pavlik threw 99 punches in round 3, landing 32. Taylor was 21 out of 41, so very accurate for Taylor. But Pavlik had the control of the round. And Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Look at you. In rounds, I've got it 2 rounds to 1. But the all-important points category, 28 to 28, all even, because Jermain Taylor gets an extra point in round 2 for the knockdown. Jim, I'm going to tell you, Jermain Taylor doesn't stop straight right hands too well. They all seem to land for Kelly Pavlik. But like Larry Merchant said, this is one great fight. 2 rounds to 1, Kelly Pavlik.
Step.
The Pavlik camp has felt that if they can get into the late stages of the fight will be theirs, because Taylor has faded in some fights in the late stages.
Quick! Step out. Let him out, Jermain. Let him out. Hey, Jermain, get up. Get up. Okay, all right. You all right, bro? You all right? All right.
Once again, Taylor backs into a corner and Pavlik takes advantage. Once again, Jermain fights his way out. This time more quickly, listening to Emmanuel Stewart, who told him, you can't stay back there in the corner. You've got to get out immediately.
Taylor wanted a conventional fighter. Well, he's got one. But most of your best fighters are conventional fighters.
Pavlik was able to back up Miranda, but it looks like Taylor's stronger than Miranda. He can get out of these corners. And, you know, what Taylor should be doing should be taking 2 steps backwards and not even putting him back on the ropes. He should be taking a step to one of the sides and circle him.
But Taylor fights better going backward than Miranda did, so that's not a problem for Taylor, taking a step back and then a step back in.
Hands up.
Good 1-2 for Taylor. Neither fighter has been very liberal with body punching so far, but to the degree that either man has landed to the body, it's Kelly Pavlik with chopping right hand. Now there's another good right hand right down the barrel by Pavlik. Misses with the left hook. Taylor comes back with a left and a right.
Jermain Taylor was abused in the corners by Winky Wright in their controversial draw in Memphis. Tonight, when he gets into the corners, he's fighting his way out in a hurry. There's a huge left hook for Jermain Taylor in the center of the ring, and his faster hands are still apparent as we reach the end of round 4.
Stay up your leg. Kelly, when you got him against the ropes, measure with the jab.
Yeah.
Don't go and throw.
Yes.
Measure,
Let's
feint,
still
and
double
come
it.
back to the
Let's
body.
still double it. Double it, right hand hook. Or double it, get to the body. Okay? You're doing fine, baby.
It's at least slowing down, you understand? Your conditioning is beautiful. And watching his right hand, that's all. You're not getting it for nothing else. Just while you see the young neck. Okay. Give me the towel. Towel.
Not many jabs in the fight. Through round 4, Taylor 14 out of 29, Pavlik 9 out of 35. Pavlik slowed down a little bit in round 4, throwing only 66 punches. But once again, Harold Letterman gave Pavlik the round. Generally speaking, he's been able to back Taylor up with his right hand more frequently than Taylor backs him up. Both fighters seem to be scratching to find a new answer now, as they've sort of leveled out with all of the violent assaults that went through the first 3 rounds. A little bit more of a boxing match now than was the case early on, Lennox.
And that appears to be in Taylor's favor, isn't it, Lennox?
Yeah, he's doing a great job counter-punching, and that's what he's looking to do. He's letting Kelly Pavlik come at him, and he's looking to counter-punch either with the right hand or the left hook. So he's working off of what Pavlik is doing, and he's watching Pavlik's right hand because he realized that's what Pavlik has that's really dangerous, that he needs to be concerned about.
Pavlik gets caught over the top by a right hand by Taylor, but keeps going forward and presses Taylor with his own 1-2. You heard the veteran.
I see Pavlik blocking most of Taylor's punches because they're wider punches, and he has his arms and his gloves up properly. That one got through.
Well, Taylor has that explosive power that can stun you with a punch, and that's what makes him a good fighter as well, because he's able to explode off a punch, hurt you, and then react off of that.
Emanuel Stewart has told Jermain Taylor, watch out for Kelly Pavlik's right hand, and Taylor was able to slip a couple of right hands in the corner there.
You know, we've never seen Taylor been hit by many clean, hard punches. He's taken the punches exceedingly well from a puncher in this fight.
Trickle of blood from Kelly Pavlik's nose. Pavlik sticking the jab, getting more effective in this round with the jab, and has been the case before. Taylor comes back, double jab of his own. Body shots by Pavlik as Taylor comes inside.
Step out.
These rounds are going fast. The intensity of the action carrying us along. 5 rounds in the books already. And the bell sounds here in a matter of seconds. Hard right hand just after the bell by Taylor, and Pavlik reaches out and touches gloves.
Working the show now. You won that round. Give me some ice over here on the side over here. Okay? You won that round. Just putting it back. He's fading. He's fading fast. Get working your golden left arm. Just get to working it. And then when the shots come in, he won't see it. And that was good. After you let him shot all his punches, you finished up coming back, okay? He's good.
Mike Pavlik Kelly's father here from Youngstown. His mother simply will not come to any of his fights. In fact, she's never watched one of his fights all the way through. Says it makes her too nervous. Not something she can enjoy watching. Mike is a big, broad, stolid, Youngstown, Steel Town kind of a guy. Kelly favors his mother. Long, lean.
This must be a pretty good fight, Jim. I've already got 5 dots of blood on my shirt. And it's Pavlik's blood.
Pavlik begins the 6th round searching for a body shot. Harold Ledham agreed with Emmanuel Stewart that Jermain Taylor won the last round. Pacquiao Barrera countdown coming along immediately following this telecast. Start to get ready for next week. Good left hook by Jermain Taylor, sneaked past Kelly Pavlik's right-hand guard. Good body shots by Taylor there. Probably the 2 best body shots of the fight. Now another left hand lands flush. Pavlik nodding his head as if to say, okay, you're getting through. Now eat my right hand.
And you know, I haven't seen Pavlik go for the body yet. He's just being headhunting, and maybe he should mix up the punches a little.
There's a body shot with the right hand.
He needs to mix up the punches.
I think that right hand about 15 seconds ago got Taylor's attention.
No question. That's why he backed into the corner. Taylor comes back firing with the left again. You heard Emmanuel Stewart say, keep working that golden left. They want to win the fight with the jab and the hook. Pavlik gets in a straight right again. Keeps coming.
Pavlik's nose is bleeding a little bit, and what that does, it can bother you a little bit because it bothers your breathing. You can't get enough oxygen. Now you have to open your mouth to breathe through your mouth, so you can see Pavlik's mouth open a little bit, trying to get more oxygen.
Pavlik seems to be winning the boxing contest right now.
He didn't in the last round, but this time he's more resolute and coming more straight forward. More jabs means better boxing. Spoke to a member of Kelly Pavlik's entourage this afternoon who said the worst thing that could happen to us is if Kelly breaks his nose and has trouble breathing in the fight. Not, of course, that Kelly breaks his own nose, but that Jermain breaks it with a punch, which is probably what's happened here if it's broken. Certainly it's bleeding.
No. That's it, both of you. Out. That's it, good.
Good left hook by Taylor at the end of that combination.
So far, this is a relative calm after the storm of the first 3 rounds.
Big right hand upstairs by Taylor. Momentarily backs Pavlik off as Kelly was attempting another combination assault.
When Jermain Taylor hits the ropes, it's like something goes off inside his head and said, this is the time to fight.
You're exactly right, Lennox. That is what he's done throughout his career. When he is attacked, he goes to the right ropes and then stands and fires back.
Breathe deep. Put your legs down.
Back him up, good body shots. You're just going to keep working. Keep the pace going.
Breathe deep.
Keep the
Through your mouth.
going.
Breathe deep ones. Come on.
Bend your knees a little bit inside, right? Bend your knees, stand the double jab, and it's easy.
Come on, big ones.
You're letting him take the lead too much, and right now he's winning the title because he's more consistent than you are. You have to start working your jab or whatever, and then try to quit just backing up. He's pushing you straight to the rope. Just get back and start working your jab. You understand? That gives him power.
And here you see Pavlik having Taylor against the ropes, but Taylor retaliating with a couple punches and ending off with a right hand.
We are halfway through the scheduled 12-round fight. Average punches per round so far, Pavlik 29 out of 74, Taylor 29 out of 59. Harold Letterman, how do you have it on the scorecard?
4 rounds to 2, 57, 56, Kelly Pavlik. Jermain Taylor, I think that his aggressiveness is winning the fight. I mean, you know, moving forward, landing those good, straight, hard right hands. Jermain Taylor, beautiful job of boxing to win round 5. He gets an extra point in round 2 for the knockdown. The fight is very, very close in points. 4 rounds to 2, Kelly Pavlik.
I have it 3 rounds apiece, which means a 1-point lead for Taylor.
There's a good body shot by Taylor, or excuse me, by Pavlik with the right hand. Both fighters trying to employ the jab here in round 7. Middle portions of the fight, much more a boxing match than the first 3 rounds, which were a wild, all-out slugfest.
And contrary to expectations, we're seeing Pavlik winning the jabbing contest.
Longer. Steps forward. Body shot with the left hand by Pavlik. Good 1-2 upstairs by Taylor, immediately following. Another right hand by Pavlik.
Pavlik said he didn't think that Taylor liked to get hit. Nobody likes to get hit, but Taylor has taken those hits. Taylor said that he didn't think Kelly Pavlik was much.
And that right hand hurt Taylor. Taylor is done. Left hook. Drops Taylor's head up. Uppercut has Taylor in big trouble. Down goes the man. And Steve Smoger is going to stop the fight. That is correct. There's a brand new middleweight champion. He's from Youngstown, Ohio. What a knockout assault.
Muscle memory strikes again.
Unbelievable. I don't know where that shot came from, but it definitely hurt Jermain Taylor.
What a performance by young Pavlik.
What guts.
To get off the floor. The difference in this fight, one man got off the floor, the other man didn't.
You could see it coming about 10 seconds in advance when the right hand drove Taylor into the ropes, and suddenly he was a sitting duck, and Pavlik instantly realized it, Lennox, that was the instinct of a finisher.
I was really surprised that and this is the punch that hurt him. Pavlik has been throwing that jab. Taylor hasn't been blocking it. But here's the right that hurt him, and he's hurt from that punch. He backs up in the corner. He's still... And here's another angle, the same punch. Taylor's eyes are closed. He didn't even see that punch coming. All he seen it was at the last moment when it connected. And here's the end, where the referee steps in. It was a left uppercut that hurt him. It buckled him a little bit. Then a right uppercut that put him on the chin. And the finish, referee steps in, realizes that Taylor's hurt, and stops the fight.
A perfect finishing assault by Kelly Pavlik. This is clinical damage inside, Lennox. Both hands.
And it looks like the uppercuts were really apparent. That's the one that really was the shocker and came from nowhere. Jermain didn't even see it, but he reacted from it, and whether or not he could have got up or not is the question, because the referee was right there on top of him, but he made no attempt to get up. Kelly Pavlik showing the true heart of a champion.
Well, Michael Buffer said at the beginning somebody's O had to go. It was Taylor's O who went.
By way of Caesars Atlantic City, tonight here in Atlantic City, we have witnessed one of the great middleweight championship bouts in boxing history. Referee Steve Smoger steps in, calls a halt at 2 minutes, 14 seconds, round number 7. the winner by TKO victory and new undefeated middleweight champion of the world, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik.
Very few picked him to beat Edison Miranda earlier this summer. He put Miranda away in 7. Jermain Taylor was an 8-5 favorite tonight. He put Taylor away in 7. Kelly Pavlik has put an imprint on the middleweight division that will not soon be forgotten, and Jermain Taylor has already left the ring.
Kelly Pavlik came off the floor and came back. When that happens, when you put a guy down and he comes back and you hit him with everything, and all of a sudden he comes back and he's still coming and throwing punches, that's got to do something mentally for you. And what it did for Jermain was like he had to say to himself, this guy's still coming, he's still here.
Final CompuBox numbers. Taylor and Pavlik landing an almost identical number of punches. Taylor landing at a higher accuracy rate. Pavlik showing the will, as he insisted he would, to throw more punches as the fight went on. Power shots. Jabs first. Taylor landing 77 of 207. Pavlik 80 out of 250. They were both dedicated to using the jab. Pavlik's jab was stiffer and longer and controlled more space. And most importantly, as the rounds went on, Pavlik's jab began to set up his power shots until he landed a barrage in the 7th round that closed the show, ultimately landing 100 out of 210 power shots against Taylor, who had a sensational statistical night, landing 65% of his power shots. And incidentally, Larry Merchant, if you're listening, the judges had it 58-55, 59-54, and 58-55, all for Jermain Taylor. So Pavlik was down 3, 3, and 4 points on the scorecards when he knocked Taylor out. Larry?
Thank you very much, Jim. Congratulations. Kelly, how close were you to being knocked out in the 2nd round?
I ain't gonna lie, Larry. He caught me with a good one. Obviously, it took the legs from me. You see the way I went down, obviously, and I got back up. It was still a little shaky, but being there with Jermain, I kick a punch like a mule. He's a big natural middleweight, so I did whatever I possibly can to survive the rest of that round.
Describe what you see.
I see him hit me with a lot of punches. But we sat there, we got through it. We, showed that we have a lot of heart, and he hit me. When I got back up, he hit me a couple other hard shots that I got through. But first, I'd like to thank the Lord, God Himself, and bless me with everything and my daughter back home. And the fans of Youngstown, baby!
Kelly, at that moment when you were down, give us your thoughts. Give us your thought process. I came all this way to be knocked out in 2 rounds. How do I get out of this?
You really want to know what I thought?
Yeah.
Shit, this is going to be a long night. But you know what? We dug through it. We did it against Zuniga. Taylor can hit. He's fighting slick veterans, smaller guys, but they could slip punches. He caught me flush, and he's a big kid. I went down, but I showed the heart, and once I got back up and got the cobwebs, I shook them off. I knew I was going to be in for a good night.
When in the middle rounds it was a boxing contest, which seemed to favor his style. Were your thoughts to get into the later rounds because you thought you would prevail then?
Yeah, first of all, I throw a lot of punches around. The later the fight went, the better I felt, I throw a lot of punches around, I average a lot. But, boxing-wise, I thought I boxed just as bit as good, though, throughout the middle rounds. I mean, jab for jab, I was right there with him, I thought. But great fighter, strong as a mule. I beat the man. I'm just happy. Go home, thank God, and be with my daughter and family.
You hit him a lot of punches in the early rounds. What was different about the 7th round?
I just think it was a total of accumulation of punches. He could take a hell of a shot, which he showed during this fight. But I just think it was an accumulation of punches. I hit him with a lot of flush shots that he took, and eventually I think it just caught up in the 7th round.
All right, we'll have you describe the beginning of the end and the end of the end as soon as we can run these pictures up. Tell us.
That right there was a straight right hand. It's been finding his mark all night. And right there, he kind of had his body turned with his chin straight, right for my right hand to land. And I just followed right back up. That's one thing I do have good. I give myself compliment on is the finishing touch. I always find a way to finish it.
Was it fair to say The difference in the fight is that you got up and he didn't?
Well, I got up because I didn't get hit as hard. But, you know, I just showed heart. Jermain, hey, you know, that was just some brutal shots. If he could have got back up, I'm sure he would have.
Did you realize you were behind in the fight?
I did not know that. Was I?
Yes, you were.
I thought I was winning the fight. But you know what? That's something I got to go home and watch the film. And chances are I'll sit there and say I was losing some of the rounds.
Describe to us what your feelings are coming from Youngstown. So many fighters and champions before in that region, and now you're among them. And maybe you even owe some debt to that tradition.
You know what? I owe everything, not everything, but you know, most of everything. First, I owe my daughter and the Lord Jesus Himself. But my fans in Youngstown, you know, you had Harry Arroyo, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, which is in the house tonight, Jeff Lamkin, Greg Richardson. We're a small city, you know, 88,000, 90,000 people. Harry Arroyo, Ray Mancini, you know, everybody knows Ray. You come from a town with only 92,000 people, and you put those types of world champions out there. Such a guy like Ray, who's world renowned over and over. It's great. It's an honor to have my name penned up there with these guys, and I just can't wait to go back and talk to them and share some championship stories with them now.
There is a rematch clause in the contract to be fought above the middleweight limit of 160 pounds. Do you want that fight? Do you think he'll want it?
I hope. I get to eat, so I like it. You know, I get to you know, eat some pasta and stuff. So, but we'll see what happens. Let everybody work that out. Hey, Larry, you guys know here at HBO how I am. I love to fight, and I never back down from a fight. And I'm just glad I got my shot now.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Kelly Pavlik.
Thank you for having me on HBO. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Bob Barron and Lou DiBella. And thank you, fans of Youngstown, Ohio. I love you, Sydney.
Jim?
What a show. You heard ring announcer Michael Buffer call it one of the greatest middleweight championship fights in the history of the sport. Obviously, people are going to be going back through the archives to see what the valid comparisons are. Lennox Lewis, you know, a lot has already been said about a fight in which both men were on the canvas. Both showed heart. Both showed guts. You can't much penalize Taylor for what he did in there tonight. He just got caught in a firestorm.
Well, he got caught in a firestorm. What he should have done is block that jab a bit more, because when that jab is hitting you, you're worried about the jab and you forget about the right hand. You don't see it coming. So he needs to go back to the drawing board and block that jab. But Pavlik showed tremendous heart and will to win. He got off the canvas and came back and said, no, I'm here to win. I'm here to bring this back home to Youngstown. And that's what he did.
Is there a deceptiveness about Kelly Pavlik that might make it difficult for his opponents to understand what they're in against? I'm talking about the pale skin, the thin muscles, the seeming absence of bulk, the long arms. Is it not hard, or is it harder than it might be with other opponents to realize how dangerous he is?
He's very dangerous. What makes him dangerous is the fact that he's tall, he's got long arms, he's strong, and he's got the will of a champion. He wants to win so bad, and this is what came out in this fight. No matter the fact that his nose was bleeding, the fact that he hit the canvas, he still came back with a determination to win. And that's what he did. This is a Youngstown champion right now, and he should be very proud of himself.
Larry Merchant is headed back to Jermain Taylor's dressing room to try to get us an interview with Taylor, who, as you saw, left the ring in a huge hurry after he had been counted out by referee Steve Smoger and the fight was stopped. And I say counted out because Smoger didn't really count. He actually simply stepped in and waved his arm. And now Larry is ready, I'm told, with Jermain Taylor. So let's hear the deposed champion's reflections on what happened to him. Larry?
Thank you, Jim. Jermain, did you think the fight was over in the second round?
I did. I went in there, I had him hurt. I thought I had him. I threw a bunch of unnecessary punches that I shouldn't have thrown. I should have been coming up because, like, you know, everybody was screaming, but I just, I went wild and tried to hurt him, get him out of there.
Are you saying you expended a little bit too much energy after that knockdown and trying to get him out?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Larry. I threw a lot of unnecessary punches that I shouldn't have. I give it to Kelly. He fought a great fight.
But in the middle rounds, when it became a boxing contest, you seemed to be doing well. You were ahead on all of the cards. Were you getting tired? Because he was reaching you with his right hand.
Yeah, well, you know, I thought I was losing. It's my understanding I was losing, so I was trying to just, you know, trying to hear him get some punches off. And I just wasted a lot of energy that I shouldn't have.
Is he the best fighter you've ever fought? Is he the hardest puncher?
He's a pretty strong puncher, but I just think I wasted a lot of energy in those in the second round, just throwing a bunch of unnecessary punches, and then I got caught.
What is running through your mind now about being knocked out, and losing your championship?
I just can't believe I lost, man. Just I lost championship. That's all about going back to the gym, regrouping.
You have a rematch clause to fight him at above 160 pounds. Would you want to fight him in your next fight, or would you want to build up to that fight again?
I would like to fight in my very next fight. I feel like that I did a lot of unnecessary things, and I'm going to go back to the drawing board and just work hard next time.
Thank you very much, champ.
Thank you, Larry.
Jim?
Well, Lennox, spectacular possibilities. Could be a rematch at 160 if they want to contest the middleweight championship again. Could be a rematch at 166 because that's what's called for in the contract. Or maybe Kelly Pavlik could look for the winner of Joe Calzaghe versus Mikhail Kessler, November 3, the championship at 168 pounds. What do you want to see?
I would love to. Well, you know, what happens if there's a rematch clause, he can't really go anywhere else but to go against Jermain Taylor again. So I would love to see that fight again. It was a very exciting fight. And, you know, the next one's going to be exciting, too. So I'm sure the fans are caked up for that and prepared for that.
Jermain Taylor and Emmanuel Stewart spent a lot of time coming into this fight saying Kelly Pavlik is average, he's overrated, he's no big threat to us. If they do it again, this time they've been forewarned. Well, thanks very much for being with us on what has been a spectacular night of boxing in Atlantic City. 1 week from tonight. Or 2 weeks from tonight, it's a Boxing After Dark lightweight unification fight. The Baby Bull, Juan Diaz of Houston, takes on Julio Diaz of California. Julio won his title by decision over Jesus Chavez in February, while Juan has held his title for over 3 years, covering 7 title defenses, most recently a stoppage of Acelino Freitas. Diaz versus